To cloud. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. This is our Silhouette Cameo print and cut class. Um, and we're going to do print and cut tonight and get you guys very familiar and comfortable with the print and cut procedure. And so when you think print and cut is anything that you can print out and be able to send to your Cameo and be able to tell it to cut it out for you. Right? So print and cut is always going to the printer. It's not using your vinyl, it's printing. So if you printing on the vinyl paper, transfer paper or something like that, yes, but it needs to go to your printer first. You're printing something out and then it's going to the Cameo to cut it out for you to give it perfect edges so it doesn't look like you cut it out yourself, basically. Okay, and so when you're dealing with print and cut, you're going to be dealing with an 8x5x11 piece of paper, right? Basic size of a paper. Let me get the little corner so you can see well my cursor is moving. Okay, so right. So I put the reveal on where you can see the piece of paper, but right, if we go into our page settings, see I have it set on the letter size, 8x5x11. Up and down, you can switch to portrait mode if you wanted to. But tonight I'm gonna work with it like this. I'm saying that I'm using a 12x12 mat. I'm actually using a 12x24 mat, but it's okay. So if I move my reveal over, then you wouldn't be able to see the paper, but I'm using the reveal so I can see my working space to see what the piece of paper that I'm gonna be printing on looks like. Right? And so if you're beginning out, instead of printing on your, like this is one of the transfer papers I use all the time. And so I recommend everybody to use dark transfer. Even if you're using a light color shirt, white, anything, it still adheres the same. I think the colors are more vibrant with the dark transfer paper, and you don't have to flip it or rotate it or anything like that when you're using the dark transfer papers versus the light transfer paper. So we're working with a piece of paper, right? Paper size, we're looking at it here. I found this little cute little bunny, and so I have it saved to my computer. And so if I was going to Google and grab the image and saved it to my computer, it would be the same thing. It's saved on my computer. I open my computer up, I'm merging it, I'm bringing it in. This bunny here is a nice high definition pink image. So it actually doesn't have the background around it already. You know, sometimes when you bring an image from Google, it has the white paper look around it. This image is a really good image, so it doesn't have the whiteness around it, but that does not mean that I can just put it on here, print it, and it's gonna cut it out. You still have to do some steps to get it ready. Because if we go to send right now, we look at it, it's gonna draw a square around it. So we go to cut edge, any of that, it's just gonna draw a box around it. And that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to cut the bunny out. Once we print the bunny, we wanted to cut this bunny out for us, where we don't have to cut it out, right? And it can look nice and neat. And cut this white piece out under here, just all around it, okay? So we're gonna take the image and we're gonna trace it first. Straight over the trace. If it had the white background on it, same thing you would be doing with a Google image with a white background. We're gonna fill this in as much as we can. You want it as filled as possible. Okay, and so it's grabbing this, and what I'm gonna do, instead of hitting trace, because I don't want it to grab and cut out all these little pieces in here, I'm gonna just hit trace outer edge. And when I move the bunny over, I have this. And that's almost what I want, not exactly what I want, but it's close. So I'm gonna use this first. And so I have two pieces here. I'm gonna bring my mouse out and grab both pieces. So you see two squares here. So I'm holding on to the red outline and the bunny picture. Object, modify, crop. Okay, I'm gonna grab another picture that has a white background where you can see it a little bit better. But now when I go over to send, I have cut lines around the bunny now instead of a square, right? So it's almost perfect, but I noticed with this image, this little piece here is not cutting that out for me. So if I was gonna put this bunny on and I'm actually gonna press it, if I was gonna put it on a white shirt, then this piece wouldn't be too bad. But because I'm gonna put it on a colored shirt, I want this white piece to come out. So I'm gonna go back to my design, and when I move over here once again, we can see, we don't see it, but it really is there. We need cut lines there to tell the machine to cut it out. So I'm gonna use trace by color here. If you have the, I'm not 100% sure if the other, like the non-paid for pro Silhouette Cameo software has the trace by color with the 4.2 now, or if it's just only business edition. So if you don't have it, you can chime in and let me know, and I'll show you a different way. But the easier way is to do trace by color. It's gonna ask me what trace by color. Now I get the dropper. I'm gonna put the dropper here and see, and it grab that little piece, that white piece that I wanna cut out. And I'm gonna hit, I can hit trace or I can hit trace and detach, either one. If I hit trace, I'm gonna have to do the 2 steps. If I hit trace and detach, I'm done. See, it took that piece out, it's there. I can delete it, I don't need it. Now when I bring it back over here now and go to send, I have cut lines here. So it's gonna cut that little white piece out for me. That's there. So my outline looks nice with everything that I want to cut out. And so if I wanted to add some text to this, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a different one. I'm gonna show you this one. I played with it a little bit with the bunny, and this is the one I'm gonna print out, right? And see, I put the 2 cute for carrots down bottom with the offset, but I'm gonna show you a different design. So if we wanted to do like my first Easter, I'm just gonna make it smaller to play with the design first, right? I would start with my number. I love print and cut. I have the HP printer, the Office one, and HP has a Instant Ink program where you can pay for the amount of sheets that you print per month, and you get unlimited ink for it. So when I do print and cut, I like to use a lot of colors and all that because ink really isn't an issue for me because I use the Instant Ink program. I'm just gonna change it a color for a second, not that I'm sure that I'm gonna go with this color, but just to give myself a color. Then I'm gonna go to my fonts and figure out what font I wanna use. And I wanna show you guys this because when you're doing print and cut, you can also use vinyl. I don't know why this is weird. I don't know. Vinyl and layer. If you want to just cut the number in vinyl and put the print and cut on top of it, you can totally do that. But if you want to do a 100% print and cut design, you need to always make sure that everything that you put with your image is touching all to make one image. And that's what made me think about this, to want to show you guys this. I like this font here, but I don't like that it's outlined like this. So I always just use it and I release compound path to make it a solid one color. So I'm going to use this font. So I'm going to do the one here. a little cursor in a way. Okay. I'm gonna wrap it to the front. My bunny can sit here. So if I wanted to use one of the colors, change to one. I think I'm gonna go with like maybe the pink. And I'm just using the dropper here to choose the pink here that's in my image to be able to choose the color for the number one. Okay, and see if I have the bunny here, I can do print and cut with the bunny here, but now it's gonna give me two pieces. When I print it out and when the Cameo cuts it out, I would have two pieces. To avoid that, I'm gonna make sure the bunny touches. If the bunny ear only touches, that's enough. Because now the machine is gonna cut all this out, but it's gonna cut here and go around. You don't want it not touching, okay? That's very important when you're using more than one image or, to make a design. So I like the bunny here. Am I going too fast for anybody? Everybody with me? See, I'm looking for a font. Let's see, this font is already touching, but if I wanted to use this here, I don't. I would need to offset it or something to make sure that it was touching everything where it wouldn't be just a square that I would have to try to press separately. I don't think that font is cute. I don't want it. I could do it here. All these letters are touching, but say if this space was here, a gap, this E would cut out by itself, just like this. You want everything to touch, and see the E actually isn't all the way touching the A. So I use offset a lot when I'm using a full page of print and cut. So I probably would offset this. Welding those letters together isn't really important because I'm not using vinyl, right? Or I could use vinyl and once again, layer the image on top, put the vinyl down in just one color. But if you want more colors, check that out. I'm gonna move it. See, this offset is one piece. Now I'm gonna change it to whatever color I like. I'm gonna use the dropper again and go with the yellow here and the eggs. I'm gonna bring it up on the one a little bit more where it's touching in a couple spots where the piece of transfer paper won't be too flimsy when I go to peel it, because if you just got a little tad here touching, then the only thing that's connecting these pieces is this right here. And it's totally fine, and it's gonna be connected, and it's still gonna be just one piece, but you know that that transfer paper, when it gets hot under the heat press, it starts to fold up sometime a little bit and get complicated. I'm gonna offset one more time just because I get unlimited ink. I'm gonna add another color. That's cute. Right there. I like that purple a lot. I'm going to take that off. Now I'm gonna leave the purple. And I'm gonna give it no outline because when you're working with these color fields here, they really don't match up to none of your real colors. So I just took the outline color away. But I'm gonna change, now I wanna change the yellow to like a white maybe. Maybe the turquoise can go to the pink. Yeah, I like that better. And that would be my image. Now check this out. And I would group it all together. And I just like to check and see what it looks like when I get over here. See, this here is a no-go, but that's telling it, it's drawing the lines, but it's telling it to cut everything. You don't want it to cut everything. You want it to cut the edge.
Okay.
That's the difference. You don't want to cut everything when you're doing print and cut, because that text that you just wrote in and all that is here. That's not, you do not want it to look like that. You're only wanting it to cut out the edge of what you printed out. So it's cutting out the edge of all this. It's going around this. Is going to take the little white paper out of here for me, the white piece out of here, the white piece out of there. It's a little couple gaps that's here. It's going to take that out for me. And it's going to cut all the way around it. And it's going to be a perfect cut. Remember, we fixed this piece here. So it's going to take that piece out. All this little extra here. The S and T is connected with each other. It's going to go around it. I just want to make sure. So for the S and T, because we leaving it and not offsetting it, I would go back and make sure I weld it, because you know how these cursive fonts sometimes give you the line in between it. So if I take the color out of it now, you see it makes it one piece. I'm gonna undo it where you can see. Now I'm gonna see, but oh, it's still there. So yeah, as long as it's one piece like that. Cut that wrap to the front. Oh. Did I lose anybody anywhere? Still following me? I just group it together to just give it one piece that I can move around, instead of me having all those pieces trying to get ready to resize it to get it ready for the piece of paper for print and cut. So now if I'm all satisfied with my design and I'm ready, next step, I'm gonna go over here, back to my page setup. And I'm gonna go here, registration marks, the third tab. 1, 2, 3, right here. Registration marks. Style is on off. You're gonna turn it to type 1, and now it's turned on. And now you see my registration marks here. It's on my piece of paper. Now I can resize this to what I want to do with it. So if I'm making a shirt, and it's the first shirt in a onesie, I'm gonna size it for a onesie. If I was making, if I wanted to print this on like regular paper and make cupcake cake toppers, cupcake toppers, or something like that, right? I can make it as small as I want and put as many of them on the page as I would like, and the machine would cut all of them out. right? Cut edge. It's cutting all 4 of them out for me. Okay. So however many I put on there and stay inside of my registration marks, I can put on the page and it's still gonna cut it out for me. But because we're looking at this like we're using heat transfer paper there because we're making a shirt, we're gonna make it as big as we wanna make it. But you do have restrictions on this paper of how far you can and can't bring the lines. I'm gonna make it too big where you can see. So before I print all the time, I go to send so many times before I print, just that I'm double checking myself because I don't want to waste my paper. And then say if I have to do more than one of these shirts, so say if the design was this big and as you think it's okay, you want to go over to your send before you print it to check to see. So now we see we have a problem down here at the E, and we see how this is whited out down here. That means that the machine is not going to cut that out. So you're past this line. What it's lining it up with is this line here. You see this of the registration mark across here? That's your limit. You go up here to this top, you see that? You can't go past that. So then I would either need to try to move it up a little bit to see if that would help. But now, see, now I'm cutting off some of the T at the top. So now I'm gonna go back. Good thing I checked this in first before I printed it, because if I printed this, then that part would have been messed up, the E would have been messed up, and now you would have had the option to either cut it out by hand around the pieces that it didn't cut, or you're starting over again and throwing that one away. Just taking a few seconds to check. You see, now everything is inside my cut lines and everything is red. Oh, my T has a little spot right there. But like I'm good to go. See, everything's red, all the outline is good. Once again, guys, sometimes when you're making your design and you got it all ready and you go hit send and you get over here and it looks like this. You're like, I have no cut lines, what happened? Sometimes your machine automatically goes to no cut, or sometimes it's not a square around the design and it just is at no cut or nowhere, so you see nothing. So if you were to go to send this to your Cameo right now, it would do nothing. It would load it in and it would say finished instantly because it has no cut lines. And then if I try to select it now without the square being around it, I'm not gonna be, it's nothing. I need that square to be around my design. And now I'm gonna go to cut, and then I'm gonna remember that I only needed to cut the edge because I'm working with cut and print and cut. And so I'm gonna go cut edge. And now it's ready to go. All my red is red. I'm not outside the border anywhere. I'm going back to my design. I'm going to file, and I'm ready to print it. Or if you print from here, you're ready to send it to the printer. I'm gonna move over here to this one, like I said, just to have it sized and everything. So it's the same exact thing, guys. I used the same exact bunny. I did the same exact steps. If I move it over for you, you see that piece is not there. I offsetted the text 3 times because the text was so spaced out that I needed to offset it 3 times to be able to make it all one piece and touch each other. But if I go over to the send and look at it, you see, it's cutting the outline out for me. Everything is outlined. I'm gonna go back over here. I need to, I didn't change the size. I think I was okay with that size. One more time. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So like I said, I'm using a dark transfer paper. I have a sheet of it loaded into my printer right now. Okay, I'm just gonna hit print. And I'm just gonna send it to the printer. One important thing, and what I'm looking down real quick, I'm gonna log into my phone to take over from my phone so you guys can see my machine and we can go over to the heat press and all that stuff to be able to finish it. So I'm gonna just log into Zoom from my phone really quick. Print and cut, important step. If you need to make, say this shirt go viral and you need 20 of these, the crazy part about print and cut is that every time you do a print and cut and you put your registration mark on, you need to print that one out and cut it before you print the second one. You cannot go print and hit 5 of them and print 5 of them out at one time and then load each one by one onto your Cameo and think it's gonna pick up the registration marks. It's only gonna pick up the registration marks on the first one. So you're gonna have to turn them off and turn them back on. Okay, let's see. Um, okay. I'm gonna switch over to my phone. All right. So I printed it out. So here. It's on the side. I'm gonna bring it over here to my Cameo. Hope it's turned on. Yep. Got my mat here. I'm going to line it up. Oh, I gotta fix that. I'm gonna grab the tripod. Sorry about that. So I'm just lining it up on the mat. Sometime, if you don't have great lighting wherever your machine is, you might want to use a flashlight from your phone or something to be able to shine on your machine here up under here, because there's a laser under there that's going to read these registration marks. And if your light isn't good enough in your crafting space, it might say registration marks not read. So I'm just loading it. Okay. Now I'm just going back to the camera so I can see the print, and I want to be able to show you that. Okay, do y'all see my Cameo screen now? Ms. Smith, can you shake your head and let me know if you see the Cameo? Yeah, the Cameo screen is up. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so now I'm going to go to cut. Okay, 10 because I printed it out already. I got it loaded on my Mac, and now I want to send it to the Cameo to cut out. Now I need to hook up the Cameo to my laptop. Okay, we connected. We gotta. Some of you guys have the new one. We're gonna automatically, transfer smoothly. No, that's not it. Yeah, I made that. Sorry. Good night, honey. Yes.
Can I sleep in Papa's room?
No.
In my bed.
But we're not doing this. Good night. See what your sister. Good night.
And then we'll
Good night.
and we'll go.
Good boy. Heat transfer dark. Some of you guys, the machine automatically sets. My blade is real dull. I move it up a lot. Don't go with my settings. I don't even actually use the Cameo blade. I have a different blade. So don't use the settings that is set for you for your heat transfer. Once you got a dull blade, you know you need to move it up. Okay. So now ready? I'm going to hit send. See, it's reading the registration. Sometimes I hold the lamp up to give a little extra light just to make sure that it catches the registration. So while that's printing, we turn on the press. All right, it's all done. I'm gonna hit unload. I don't know why the camera's not focusing. There we go. Okay, check this cool stuff. So I'm gonna start up here. I'm just gonna peel. Yes, a little piece. And a bunny is all cut out. I'm gonna take it over to the heat press. Over the top on the sheet. Back up a little bit. So now I still have it on this piece of paper. You still have to take it off of here. So now you're gonna, this was talking about how soft the paper is. So if your design is only touching a little bit at the bottom, you have to be easy and gentle and take your time with it because you can't tear it. And so I'm just gonna start it here. You remember? That's the little piece in between the text that was here. It really took it out. See that? So it cuts all that out for you. See? Under the arm, that's out. So now I don't have to have a white patch on my purple shirt. Okay. I'll cover it up. And so sometimes when you go to cover it up, you need to make sure this piece didn't roll up and fold up or something like that. Because if you put heat to it like that, it's ruined. It gets folded like that. You apply heat and you make sure you be gentle when you cover it up. Okay. Here's a printing cut I did earlier today. Using the LOL Girl SVG file that's on the website. So I pressed it for the 15 seconds, but I'm kind of cheating because the heat press isn't hot as it needs to be. I usually press on my print and cut on 350 degrees for 15 seconds. I'm ashamed to tell you what the temperature is right now. So we're gonna press it one more time, just in case. But you know, I wanted to show you this. Look at this. So you guys who don't have a heat press, inside of your pack of the transfer paper, it comes with this. So if you was using an iron, then you have this thing to be able to cover up your design with and be able to press it. Whoever's coming in late for the class, you will receive a playback, so you'll be able to see the class from the beginning. But it does take a little while for it to download, so I just always tell you at the end of the class that it'll be sent out by in the morning. Okay, I'm just gonna press it. Give it some real heat since the heat press is really warmed up now. That came out so cute. There we go. Hear me now? All right, great. So what y'all think about that? It wasn't too bad, right? It's not too hard. Print cut. And so sometimes your registration marks don't register is your lighting or the positioning on your mat. You need to make sure those lines are lining up with that tip of that mat when you're lining it up and everything like that. And so if the first time when you push it and it doesn't go due to lighting or the mat, then you can push unload, reload it back on there and hit it again. And it's still gonna read those registration marks. Okay, I'm gonna go back and share my screen again with you guys because I wanted to make sure I stress this. So now I just printed that one shirt and cut it out from the machine. I didn't have to go over and press it. You know, I didn't have to do that because it's already cut out once the machine cut it out on paper. I could put that one to the side. But I could not do 2, 3 of these from this one print. I should not have hit print and hit 3 times. So once I did one, I printed and I sent it to the Silhouette to cut it out. Then I could come back here, go back to my page setup, and I'm under my registration marks. And you would turn it off and turn it back on. That's very important. They haven't got an upgrade for that yet. They haven't fixed that to make it where we could just print 4 or 5 of them at one time and just use the same registration marks. But I think it's something, I have seen something on YouTube where you, about the barcode or something, some kind of way you can embed a barcode into it. And I think that might give you more than one print cut. I'm not really sure. But I always just turn it off and turn it back on when I'm doing this. Any questions? Any questions for me, ladies? Let me see what's in the. Hello, everybody. I see some hand raising. I'm trying to look at the questions. Ladies, you can unmute yourself and talk to me at any time.
Can I ask a question now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excuse me. First of all, thank you for allowing me to join at the last minute. And I'm very excited because my Silhouette is coming tomorrow. I haven't gotten it yet. I've been working with the Cricut for about a month. Is it in this class, do you have time to show what the first step would be like to get an image to cut? I don't even know how to do that on a Silhouette.
Yes, 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 yes. So let's I'm gonna start a different type of share. I'm just gonna share my whole screen so I can go outside of Cameo. So I'm just gonna drop my Cameo down for a second. If I got a live Facebook, we're gonna go over here to Google. Let me go back. I'm gonna scroll back. So when you're looking for images on Google, you need to, right, you can put in HD, high definition. You want nice, high quality images. You see these numbers here? Stuff like that, from 3,000 big images, those are great pictures because they high quality images. I like to, when I'm doing print and cut and I'm looking for something like this one might not be too hard because the background isn't too bad, but like all that in between there, I would be a little nervous with that. So I like white backgrounds when I'm looking for a print and cut image that I'm going to use. You can even use ping images that you find on Google. right? I'm making it complicated. I don't see an image I like yet, ladies. I'm sorry. Oh, look, here's my image that we used today. See? Right here, it came from Google. Oh, but see, that one's so small too. See, look at the difference. 372 by 573 versus 2000 by. Oh, this one cute. Oh, it's watermarks. Easter Bunny not being too nice to me. I'm gonna go to everybody like the LO Surprise. They've been real popular lately. Okay, ladies, so see this image here with the background gone already? So that was like the bunny image that I used. The background is gone. So if you was bringing this over to Cameo, when you go to save this, you need to save the image as and save it to your computer. If it's a pink image that you're finding on Google versus this image here, let's find one. Watch y'all on be pings. See, this one isn't a ping. It's just a JPEG and it has the white background. This one, like this one, it's just the white background, right? So with this image, with it being just a white background, I can copy the image that he's saving it to my computer. I don't even have to save it to my computer. And then I can just move right back over. I just hit copy the image. Oops, I'm trying to move the little pad. I can't see my candy, y'all. There we go. Okay, I'm trying to get to the bottom of my. Okay, now I'm back in my designer, right? You see my design space now?
Mm-hmm.
Are we still in Google? Design space, okay.
Design space.
All right, and so because I just clicked on that image and copied, I can just paste it here and it brings it straight in. And it's not saved to my hard drive, it's not saved, taking up room and all that stuff. But see, this one has the white background around it and we need to get rid of that. So now here's the Google image. We're gonna go back over to our trace option, select area to trace. And I'm gonna draw the square around. And I'm gonna fill it in as much as I can, hopefully, and it fills all of it in. But see all that extra, you want it nice and smooth around the edges, as smooth as you can get it. So because it didn't fill the extra in, we're gonna hit trace outer edge. We only want the outside. If we hit trace, it's gonna trace all the eyes and all that. So see, it's the outer edge traced. So I'm gonna undo, I don't wanna move it. I want it perfectly on it the way it traced it. I'm gonna go outside of the box. I'm gonna drag my cursor over. Now I have the picture with the white background and the red trace behind it, both selected at the same time. I'm gonna go to Object, Modify, Crop. See, this image has some little extra pieces, and so now when you look closely, you see these extra squares. Sometimes that happens. Those pieces you do not want. You don't want to right click and group them together. Now you want to select outside of it, move your picture, move it over, grab all those little extra pieces and delete them. But now you traced it. That red outline that you traced, when you print it, it's not going to be in your picture, but it's still around this image. When you go here to send, we got an outline now.
What did you hit? Object modify and what? I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let me go back for us. There we got the two pieces grabbed together. Object, modify, crop. I selected outside the box, moved it over, grab those little crop. It says crop.
Crop. Okay.
Crop. C-R-O-P.
Crop. Oh, okay.
Yes.
This software seems so much more powerful than the Cricut.
Yes, very powerful. I compare it to, I don't understand why people use Photoshop.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, exactly what I was thinking.
I do everything, ladies, in this. And you know what crossed my mind just now when I did that for you? I want you to know you can do that with any Google image. So think about this now. There's no background here, right? Check this out. I'm gonna go to my library, but this is nope, I'm gonna do it the easy. I want to show you the right way. I'm gonna go back to Google real quick if I can. It's not letting me. Let's make it little. There we go. I'm going back to Chrome. Watch this. I'm gonna go to Google and I'm gonna type in white t-shirt. I actually want a kid looking one. What design did we just do? I really forgot what I just made. Oh, okay. I can grab this picture from Google. Once again, look guys, I'm not saving this picture to my computer. I don't want all that trash on my computer. I'm just copying. Copy image. Then I'm going back to my Cameo software. I'm hitting paste. Look at, I'm going to turn these registration marks off now for a minute because we don't really need that. I'm going to make the picture nice and big. And now that picture that you just got ready for you, it's ready to go. So you know if you get an order for this, you already made the you know, it's ready to cut. You bring it over here. This is in the way. Everything's been in the way. So it wrap to the front is what I was trying to get to. Resize it. There's your whole design, little mock-up, everything. The funny part, you can do that same thing. We talking about print and cut. Check this out. You trace this t-shirt. I'm gonna fill it all the way in. And I'm gonna hit trace and detach on this one.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
So when you put your design on and you click the I don't know what the icon is called, but that's when it did the red outline and you was able to separate it.
The trace.
Isn't that how you're also making an SVG, right?
But no, a SVG is a scalable vector graphic. A SVG would be, this would be a SVG. Me typing out, if this child name was Ashley, I spelled that wrong. We're just gonna put Ash, right? So that's her name, and we wanted as that this in Cameo. In Cameo, this is an SVG. Any text that we use from our machine, we can go straight to send and cut it, and it's a file, right?
Get out of here.
You want to cut vinyl,
right?
That's cutting vinyl with this, right? With this, image, we don't want to, you can, right? Because even from my website, I got some LOL dolls on there that's, I think it's 4 or 5 layers, but right, you would have to cut the blue part, cut the yellow part, cut the black. So that's not what you're making. That's not what you're doing.
Right.
Print and cut is you're making a printable design, and you're going to be able to send it to your printer and print it out, and then have your Cameo machine cut it out, versus you using the SVG file of you know, a picture of her face.
The only reason why I asked that was because I was playing around with the silhouette today, and I kind of did what you just did, and then when I saved it, it was able to save as an SVG, and so I actually opened it up, but I opened it up in my Cricut design space.
Yes.
And when I opened it up, it you know how when it's the SVG, you have all those different parts. That's what it did, and I was like, okay, so this does SVGs.
Yes, good job. So that means that you have the business edition. So any ladies that have the business edition, you can go file, save as, save to hard drive.
Right.
And when you go to save type, you can choose the SVG.
Right.
And that's what we teach a lot of our ladies in our SVG Like Me class. We're teaching y'all how to use this program, but move it over to your Cricut and still use your Cricut cutting machine.
Right.
So to give y'all an example what she's exactly talking about, she used more probably of a simple image. So let me go say mini.
So what would you save this file if you didn't want it as an SVG, but you wanted to do print and cut later? What would you save that doll as? What type of file?
Because you're saving it to your Cameo software?
Yes, it would just be a studio silhouette file?
You would actually go file, save as, and save to your library, right?
Right.
You want to put it in your library, because if you got it synced and logged in, you know that's like an iCloud. It's not bagging up, putting all that stuff onto your
hard drive,
your laptop, your hard drive.
Okay,
right?
so it doesn't have an extension, it's just a studio file?
You can make a folder and save it to your computer as that.
Okay, but I just need, so when I pulled it up later, I would know the difference between if it was a print and cut or an SVG?
If you created it or if you bought it?
If I created it just like you did with this girl now.
Yep, because you would know what you saved it and named it as, right? You would identify it. If I was saving this, it would be LOL doll, print and cut, or, you know, I would say put something in it, because if I turn around, because I can take this same LOL doll and I can turn it into an SVG file where we can be able to change the skin tone, we can change the hair color, we can change the dress, right? If it was an SVG. So it would be a difference. So if I just, you know, it's whatever you're saving it as and that you're going to remember that you saved it as. So when you go to your library, but you know, our library is so smart. As soon as you start to type in a few letters into whatever you're looking up, it's going to bring it up.
So if I may ask a question just for clarification, did you just say that if you had the business edition, you could save that as a SVG file and it would create an SVG file with all the layers?
Okay, so that's what I wanted to break down for you ladies, because I didn't want you to get confused on what she just said. Okay, so with this image right here, if we go here and go trace, let's see how close we can get it. This is a more complex image, right? So if we go here, oh, but not too bad. Now watch this. I hit trace. I move the doll out the way. I take this. I'm gonna change the color where you can see it better. This is an SVG right now. It's all black and white. It's only one color. You're not gonna get any colors with it, anything like that. But this is a one cut SVG. So if you were to, like she said, this right here, you would be able to go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, SVG, and you save it. And then you will be able to move it over to Design Space. And now if you know how to take a black and white design like this in Design Space and break it apart and change the colors, then yep, it's an SVG that you will be able to ungroup or whatever you do to it over there to get it released to pieces, and then you will be able to change the colors. But that's one of the things that we also are teaching in our SVG Like Me class, to use Design Space and Cameo to bring this over. We would take you the further step of showing you from this step here of me just tracing this image, how to release it and change all the pieces to different colors. Save it here and move it over to your Design Space. But this right now is 100% of SVG. If you have Business Edition, you can send it over to your Cricut Design Space. I mean, save it to your, your machine and pull it up over there. But it's going to be a one cut versus this being this image. So ladies, if you're doing this and you're bringing it over there to your Cricut, I would actually recommend for you, instead of saving it as an SVG, as this image here, you should actually, because you have Business Edition or the 4.2 of the Cameo, you should save it as, we have the new option, and I'm so excited about it. We can save as pings now. So you would save this as a ping if you bringing it to the Cricut, and you would make it a transparent background, so the background is already out for you, and then save it that way.
Quick question.
Yep.
What type of paper is that you were using? I kind of missed that step if you announced it.
Oh, where's my camera? Oh, there I go. You see this?
Dark t-shirt.
Comes from Joanne Fabrics.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Put it a little closer, please.
Yeah, wait, let me, just because I'm not talking yet. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Taylor is Taylor. Let me see if I can pin my video. It's just because when we talk and interact, it goes to the person who's speaking. I'll read that. So you got it. But ladies, this is not the only one that you would have to, the options. They do have it on Amazon and stuff like that, like big boxes that you can get, big packs of it that you can get. The wash instruction on this stuff. So this stuff is not as durable as vinyl, right? So my vinyl shirt, if I was doing that LOL doll in vinyl, I would charge a lot, not a lot more, but it's a big difference in me doing that, layering it in vinyl versus printing it on this form. The wash instructions on this paper tell you to use cold water only, to turn it inside out when you wash it, and it tell you to hang it to dry, never put it in the dryer. And I made a lot of them, and I used them over the years for birthday, because I used to do a lot of birthday shirts, and I never get complaints from the parents and stuff. But if you put this in the dryer and leave the shirt in the dryer for too long, it's gonna melt it and it's gonna look crazy, so your customer might be upset. But as long as you have that wash instruction card or something in your product, then you be like, well, I told you, then supposed to put it in the dryer. Because when they send you that picture of it all crazily just shriveled crazy, they put it in the dryer for way too long. But I have dried it also, right? Because I have 3 kids, I got twin girls, I make them shirts all the time. So I throw them in the dryer sometime, but I do be mindful and get them out early, so it's not like it can't take dryer heat, but you don't tell the customers that. You need to tell them what the paper says to cover yourself on the wash instruction.
When you put yours in the dryer, do you turn it inside out as well?
When it's for my children, I don't, ladies. I don't. If I mess it up, I just throw it away. I get those little Dollar Tree shirts. I clearance all the time, so I don't pay more than $1 for a t-shirt. So I got 3 kids in a business. So I do not. I've washed my headphones today. I was so sad. I don't check pockets or nothing. I be forgetting about all that stuff. Yeah. No, I don't. But you should, if you talking to your customers, if it's for your kids and it's you, that's one thing. But your customers, you need to give them care instructions, right? And that's just this paper. This is just one thing you can use that method on, ladies. As long as you go practice with some printer paper first. The same design we just did, the same stuff we just did, you can do it using printer paper, and it's going to give you the option, instead of using heat transfer paper as your material, you choose printer paper and let the machine cut it out for you. You know, do some sample runs with it before you go waste the paper. This paper is $19.99 at Joann's and Michael's for a 10-pack. So, you know, always try to make sure you got your little 50 or 60% off coupon or something when you go to get it. So $19.99, it never goes on sale. So you always can use a coupon. I never, ever has seen it on sale, no lie.
What's it called on Amazon? What kind of paper is it on Amazon? Is it transfer paper?
Heat, you want to put the word heat, I think. Heat transfer. When you're looking it up, smart t-shirt transfer.
Do you see my black tweezers in there by the press?
She's talking to me.
Girl, she need to mute.
Oh, shoot. Any other questions, ladies, for me? Yep.
What kind of printer do you have?
It's called the HP Office Jet 8702.
HP what? I'm sorry.
The number's 8702.
And can you print like regular documents on there too? And that?
Yes. Yep. It's regular printer. Regular printer paper. A regular printer.
Can you talk a little bit about that ink program that you mentioned in the beginning?
Yes, I love Instant Ink. Let me show you. I actually have a box here, but because I just upgraded, so ladies, you don't have to go out and buy this printer. I have had my business for over 7 years, and I had the little $30 one. Let me try to mute everybody because I feel like I'm getting so much feedback. So if you don't mind muting yourself. Let's see who's not. Mute. All right, there we go. Hi, my honey, Tiffany. Okay, so the Instant Ink. Wait, don't go buy this $100 and something printer. I just splurged a little bit because mine is over 7 years old. They do have the $30 one. It's called the HP all-in-one printer. Walmart be having them for $30, $40 all the time. It qualifies for the Instant Ink program also. Okay, and so Instant Ink is through HP, and if you go on hp.com right now on their website, I wish I would have got my link because we could get some free ink, but I'll email it to you. If you wait a minute, I'll get it once we get off the line and resend it to you, but you'll get 1 month free and I get a month free of ink too. So they have different levels of it, and you choose how many pages. So the $9.99 is the highest one. Now, I think they got a higher one now. When I first started, $9.99 was the best one. And you get 300 pages. And the printer has to be on Wi-Fi, and the printer has to be one of the qualifying printers. That's just the two things, Wi-Fi, qualifying printer. Your printer hooked to Wi-Fi, it connects to the Instant Ink program. So now Instant Ink is able to see, HP is able to see when your ink levels is getting low. So as soon as it start to get low, they send you out a box like this with freaking ink in it to replace your old ink. You open it up, you change them out, and they send you a freaking, and these cartridges is humongous compared to the ink cartridges that you buy from Walmart. Like, I can print over 100 pages of 4 pages designs with these cartridges and still don't run out of ink. Like, it's a lot more ink in these than you get from the store. They send you the bag. You don't have to put no postage in it. And so then it tell you when your ink is low, then you take the new ones out because they come early. So you'll never run out and have to wait on it. It's here before the ones that's in there run out. You take those out, you drop the empty ones in the bag, you put the new ones in your machine, you drop this at the post office with no, you don't have to pay for no postage or nothing, throw it in there and that's it. And then when it sees that your machine needs more ink, they send you out another box.
So you pay for the service, like the monthly subscription, like $9.99?
I pay $9.99 for 300 pages. You can pay $4.99 for 100 pages or something like that. And then my 300 pages rolls over. So if I don't use all 300 pages, they roll over. I got like over 600 rollovers right now. They roll over. They never expire. And then, but sometimes, like, you know, it's kind of a little money maker. You could use it and print stuff for people and charge them, like Staples charge them to print stuff. So I used to do that too, right? I used to print the chip bags for them and the invitations and all that, full page. You get all that, right? But so if you go over the 300, then you get 25 sheets for $1. Oh, like, so every overage, so if you had 300 and now you go to 301, you still getting charged $1, but you still can do a whole nother 25 prints for that $1, and $1 for every 25 prints over your 300 if you run out before your month is over.
Now, when they send you the
Pictures too? Can you
Picture,
print pictures?
everything, anything, everything.
Them cartridges are high, so that's good.
Yes.
This is a whole lot better than buying the actual cartridges in
I
the
know,
store.
them cartridges
Yeah,
are
because
high.
those cartridges are so expensive and then they so empty.
I know.
You print 30 something and then it's already dulling out. It never dull. You're never gonna dull out with this. And I always wonder, like, when I first seen them, like if I open these things, I'm not exaggerating. They not like the ones in the store. They're like, I know they fit the machine, but they like bigger or something, like they fatter. It's more ink in these than the ones that you get from the store. It's crazy. Like they last really, really good. I print everything for everybody. I can print that for you. I got you. You need me to print them invitations I just made. But $19.99 more.
I'd be like, why are your kids' projects in color? All of it.
Front and back. But if you do front and back, then that's considered 2 sheets.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't forget to send the link because I'm gonna.
I will. I'm gonna get on there and grab it for you guys, and I'll put it in
Great
the
for that.
email for
That would
you.
be awesome.
Yep. Anybody else got any more questions for me?
What's the next class?
Do you have?
Next class, we have the SVG Like Me class is coming up, starting. Oh, but I think it ends out March 1st. Yeah, it starts March 1st. So I think tonight's the last night you can sign up for it. But that class is a little bit more advanced. If you know how to use your machine and your software, like if you're comfortable with that Cameo software, then you might want to jump in that class. So I'm going to teach you how to take all them Google images and do it yourself. But you don't have to pay nobody to do it. I'm going to show you how to break it apart in Cameo, how to get the skin color, how to change it. Just completely about making SVGs. I'm not going to be printing anything. I'm not going to be cutting SVGs. Like, if you're taking that class, you should be comfortable with your machine, knowing that you know how to cut designs and cut your vinyl and stuff like that. That's more advanced class. But after that, we have the print and cut also for the Cricut ladies on Saturday. This coming Saturday. And then after that, all the new classes, we'll have pop-up classes here and there, but April is gonna go down. We have 5 new instructors, and we'll have a crazy agenda for April and lots of classes to choose from, and machine-specific classes. You'll have X amount of classes for the month for Cricut, X amount of classes for the month for Cameo, and then a whole lot of neutral classes that anybody can do, from like sublimation, learning about sublimation. We got a Photoshop lady if you want to learn Photoshop. But for all my Cameo ladies, you got to stick with that Cameo. Cameo does everything Photoshop does, and you don't have to pay for it besides that $99 one time for the business edition. Like everything. I make chip bags. I make my kids flashcards. I make everything in Cameo, guys. The other day, I killed it. I made some invitations on there. Killed them. They told me I need to put them on the website. Like,
I did writing invitations with my Cameo.
everything. You can do everything with that, your mock-ups, everything. You do
Then why in
everything.
the world is the Cricut that much more popular?
It don't have nothing on the Cameo. It has
Not at
nothing.
all.
It don't even have nothing on the design space. That trace option that you have. Ladies, go play with that.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Can you? So when you clicked on that little part under the rabbit's arm, what did you do? How did you single that just one little spot out?
So I did, because we have business edition, we can trace by color, right?
Oh, so you touch the color,
Yes.
and then trace and detach.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
And
Yeah.
how does the sister get business edition?
So if you only have the basic one, let me look, and I'll post in the group or drop it in the email. Let me look for you and find a cheaper one. Silhouette Cameo on their website is always $99.99, and they never have
40% off. It is tonight.
It's 40% off if you have upgraded to one of those other editions, right?
Okay. You see, I have designer, and I'm getting ready.
Yeah. So if you have paid any money and upgraded to designer or something like that, you can get it for 40% off.
Well, I can't do anything tonight because mine doesn't arrive until tomorrow.
Okay, but see, like the last week, I found it. So when I did the cameo class last week or the week before, but I did post it in the groups for everybody. But I told the ladies I found it on Swing Design. They had it for like $59.99, but then they had a 10% off coupon, so it brought it down to $52.
That's where I got my cameo from. I bought it from them, Swing Design.
So they most of the time has the best price for it, and then they always had that 10% code if you spend more than $40.
So I have a question. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I did pose the question about the recording, and I know I've been in and out because I had a couple of meetings going on at the same time.
Okay.
The recording that because this is my first time, I've had my machine almost 2 years, and I just started